Welcome to the Guide's Angle, a full-time fishing guide's view on all things related fishing, both fresh and salt water, where we discuss interactions with customers, the behind-the-scenes day-to-day grind, and even, yes, things we like and don't like within the guide business. I'm your host, Michael Littlejohn, with co-host Terry, and sit back now, relax, enjoy, and let's get right into this week's episode. I mean, I know that weathermen can get things right, and I know they can get them wrong.
Yep.
But yesterday, at least here in East Texas, they got it really wrong.
It was wrong. Because I even thought it was going to be sunny and pretty and in the 60s, or I think, 63 is what they said.
65 degrees and sunny and some south winds.
Pretty
balmy.
We moved our kind of workload around to accommodate that. But anyway, it was nasty. It was misty.
Well, what was crazy, it was the high here, out here at Tawakoni, was 44 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It was 65 degrees in Dallas.
I know.
And only 45 minutes away.
That's crazy.
The line literally was just cut somewhere around about Mesquite.
Yeah, I think they said, Dan Henry said that there was a lot of low clouds.
Oh, there was low clouds, all right. I mean, it was misty, foggy,
I was walking
rainy.
in the clouds yesterday.
I couldn't even see, when I looked out across the lake, I couldn't even see out past our first point.
Yeah,
it was just low and foggy. But check it out,
crazy.
Guys. We are back. It's the Guide's Angle. We're excited to be back in the saddle again. It's nice this time of year to have a little more time to sit down and just, hash things out.
Especially with this funky weather. I mean, we fish in the cold, y'all. We fish all winter long, but sometimes, the funky weather helps us. Funky weather helps us.
So how would you define funky weather? What is funky weather?
Funky weather to me is just like yesterday, that no sun, cloudy, misty, wet, cold, blah.
Well, I tell you what.
That's what I say.
Them striper like to bite in that kind of weather. Hey.
We weren't fishing though.
So.
Should have.
What is the very best trophy catfish day you've ever had in your life?
Oh my God. For my customers?
No, ever. You?
Ever?
With a customer, without a customer, doesn't matter.
Gosh, I don't know.
I already know the answer.
What?
The day that you, me, my dad went out.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
And what was the weather like that day?
Very foggy, but it was warm. It was probably in the 60s.
If it was warm, I was in bibs and a jacket.
No, it was
you were
cold.
in bibs and a jacket.
It was cold that morning, but it warmed up because I remember towards the end of the day, you could see like we shed everything. We were just in our bibs.
Okay, but the point is, it was cold, misty, foggy, funky in the cold Medina for sure. So
we were.
How good of a day was that though?
It was crazy because we caught. I don't know. I used to could tell you. I used to could.
Can you spell used to could?
I used to could tell you exactly how many fish we caught because we kept count. But it was 2 days of crazy drag pulling, shallow water, giant trophy catfish.
Without trying to embellish.
At all.
These are trophy catfish. We caught some in the 20s, but most of them were like
50s.
30s to 50s.
Lots of 50s.
But we never caught one in the 60s.
No, I don't think we did.
And we didn't catch very many in the high 50s. Most of the fish were between 30 and about 52, 53
We had
pounds.
a lot of 50s. I know that Texas Triple, they were all 50s, 350-pounders.
Yeah, we had, it was, I want to say day one was the best day. And then my dad brought Shane the next day. And it was still very good that day. But the day one, I want to say we had close to 30 fish over 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Off one anchor.
Mm-hmm.
And
that one day
caught them in about 4 foot of water.
Yeah.
It was the most, and here's what was cool about that.
We haven't done that since, y'all.
We didn't have a tip on these fish, and I'm not sure why my dad came out to fish because, Dad didn't fish with us a lot for trophy catfish.
Yeah.
It's just the stars aligned. I'll never forget, we launched out of the state park, and we went across, and I'll never forget, my side imaging started lighting up. And I started thinking when I first saw the fish.
This is 2011?
Probably either 10 or 11.
No, it wasn't 10. It had to be 11.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 11. February 11.
Yeah, it was February of 2011. Yeah, you're right. And as I'm coming into the area that we fished, I was looking at my side imaging, and I just started literally seeing fish everywhere, big fish. And I thought at first they were carp or buffalo. But then
I remember
about that time, I'll never forget, a giant blue rolled and it hit the side of the boat.
Yeah.
It literally thumped the side of the boat.
Yeah.
And I got a visual on it. I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that was a blue cat.
What do they call that again?
Swirling.
No.
Pushing fish.
Pushing fish.
Pushing fish.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my gosh. So I just killed the motor immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Slipped out the anchor out the back, slipped out the anchor out the front, pinned us down. You and I started cutting bait. My dad's thinking, what in the world? Why are they getting so excited so fast? And I mean, rods started going out. And I mean, from the very beginning to the very end.
There's a video somewhere.
Yeah, actually on YouTube. YouTube, we have this video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why don't we put this video? Let's do this if we can remember. Yeah. Let's put the video to this day in the description, the link, not the link, the comment section down below.
I'll put a link to it.
And let
it's
you guys
really
look
cool.
at it. It's
we're
unbelievable.
We're so not exaggerating. It was absolutely insane. I can think of a couple of trips, through years of, guiding. I can think a couple of trips that were really, really good like that. Not that good, but pretty good. Like the trip that I had, Michael and Mitch.
Well, we had 2 boats.
That was great.
And folks, we're talking today about winter fishing.
We don't know what we're talking about. We're just talking.
Well, when we're sitting here talking about it, it's pretty cold outside.
Yeah.
We've had a few
We
trips
don't prepare, y'all. We just
canceled
wing
today. So Noel was out this morning. He killed them. Had a good day. But we were sitting around. We were talking, you know what? We need to talk about winter fishing. Because the truth is, most of the people fish in the summer. And the fish are active in the summer. But really, the fish feed so well and are so active in the winter. And I think if people knew how much fun it is to fish in the winter and how many fish they can catch, whether they're fishing with us or fishing with another guide or even fishing by themselves, winter is something to look forward to. It's not like, oh man, we're coming into winter.
Yeah,
it's deer hunting season.
Yeah.
It is big. And here's the thing. And everybody knows this, the fish spawn in the spring. What do you think they do all winter?
They feed.
Yep. They have to feed heavy in the winter. Their eggs develop. They've got to feed. So if you're going to catch a really, really, really big fish, you typically are going to catch it in the winter or really early spring.
Yeah.
So
my favorite time of the year to fish for those big fish is February, because sometimes we get to catch them, shallow, and catching a 40-pound fish and 18 inches of water is insane.
Man, that's fun.
Just seeing those fish bust the top of the water. You'll see a giant tail wag, like I don't know. I can even tell you, it reminds me of like a orca. You know how the orcas wave their tails? These fish, they can't go down, so they're going to go up. And usually it's the tail for whatever reason. You see them thrashing, But
well, and a lot of times we're talking about these giant trophy blue catfish.
Blue catfish,
in the winter in super shallow water. Just none of it makes any sense. Doesn't make sense to catch giant catfish on rod and reel. You're supposed to catch those on trot lines, jug lines.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. And then
have you ever done that? Have you ever trot lined or jug lined or used jugs?
I have. Yeah. Personally, it's like me in control, which would mean me make the trot line or me rig the jug line kind of thing. I've never done it. No. However, I grew up trot lining with my grandfather and my dad.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, those are my very first memories of fishing.
Really?
Is going,
kind of mine too.
Trot lining with my grandfather and my dad, and them, they had all the bait set up right over here. The guy in the front, I think he took the fish off, and then the next guy down the lane put the bait on, and they kind of worked their way down the line, and then the wind was blowing a certain direction, and then before you know it, they'd start arguing at each other, a little bit and that kind of thing. And of course, I was a little tyke. I wasn't but about 7 or 8 years old, so I was kind of back there, moral support, just kind of.
People did a lot more, since the advances of, the advance of technology. People, that's how they would catch a lot of fish back in the day. They would use trot lines to catch a lot of fish. And now you've got, side scan, you got all kinds of sonar, you got live scope,
I just had an idea. This is something, this isn't prepared.
He's brainstorming, y'all.
Well, think about this. With live scope, think about if you're a trot liner.
Oh, yeah.
With
empty.
With live scope, you could just find your trot line under the water.
Yeah.
And you could use your live scope and literally just work your way down. Say you had 50 hooks on it.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Oh, look. There's all my baits are on it. Oh, look, this one's missing bait. This one's missing bait. Oh, look, that one's got a fish on. Oh, that one right there's got a real big fish on it. Hey, Bobby, hook number 17 down here's got a big old something on it, whatever. I mean, you could theoretically, you could do that. I wonder if anybody watching or listening to the podcast has ever used live scope or forward-facing sonar to actually check their trot lines.
So even could you do it on a jug too? Like,
Absolutely.
I guess you could.
Yeah, you just put it down and just check your jug. Of course, the jug's going to sit there and
bounce
tell
around.
you if
but
you've
you
got
can
a
see if
fish
you
on
had
it.
bait on it, I guess. But
Yeah, you could.
That's crazy.
Pretty impressive.
I know a lot of those, not a lot, but I know there was a guy that was doing live scope for these trophy catfish tournaments, and didn't they kind of outlaw that now? Or not outlaw, but they don't let them do that anymore?
I think
because he was smoking the tournaments. I was reading how these people are getting furious. Like, I'm not
that's a
I
really,
get it, but
that's one of those things where, there was a lot to be said about that. That was actually during the Central Texas
was that which one it
Catfish
was?
Trail. Yeah. And the gentleman's name was William Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's one of those things where it's a catfish tournament.
Yeah.
You have regulations. It's 2 fish brought in, 2 biggest fish, or 5 fish, whatever the weigh-in is. You're going to use all your resources.
Yeah. Well, he was bringing in flatties, though, right?
Yep. Which, I mean, that's legal. I mean, anybody can bring in a flatty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was just using his resources and using his skills.
Smart.
And I think what happened is over time, it was like everybody felt like they were fishing for second place.
Yeah.
Because they knew that he was going to, and to his argument, to William's argument, anyone else could use it as well. He's not the only one that knows how to do that. Anybody else?
Yeah.
But
his videos are pretty cool.
I
He
will
fished with his daughter a lot, didn't he?
Yep. I think this year going into it, I think they have banned forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
And I can understand it's a double-edged sword, right?
Right.
But when you look at the bigger picture of how many people are fishing a tournament, those tournament directors at some point have to draw the line and make a decision on what they're going to do.
Right.
If you've got 90% of your followers saying, look, we don't want it,
right,
and you got 3% of your followers saying we want it, and if you say, let's go with the forward-facing guys and let's go that route and allow that to be used, you really, you risk the potential of a lot of people falling out of the tournament. So those are always tough decisions. I feel for the guys that want to use forward-facing sonar now that can't.
Yeah.
But I also understand on the flip side of the guys that want a traditional fish for blue catfish, dragon boards or pitching in the trees for fish or whatever the circumstance is, and not know that you've got a guy that's using forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
So it's one of those deals. It's a tough one.
I wonder in the beginning of like when they started using live scope in crappie tournaments, I wonder if like the very beginning, I wonder if the guys were like, that's not fair. They can see the crappie. And then of course now, I bet they all use it, right?
They do all use it now, but maybe like in the very, very beginning.
Very, very beginning.
Yeah. And going back to what's right and what's wrong, I think, at the end of the day, I think you're going to start seeing these catfish tournaments be forward-facing sonar tournaments.
Yeah.
And then non-forward-facing sonar tournaments. So you've got, if you want to have 10 or 15 or 20 guys compete against each other, all using forward-facing sonar for catfish tournaments, then go at it. And then you've got the guys that want to fish traditional and let them go at it.
Yeah.
So
don't they use live scope in the bass tournaments now? Do they do that? They've been doing it for years.
Pretty much all they use.
I don't know. I don't follow bass, but out of all the tournaments we've done a few. By far, I mean, the bass fishing was a lot of fun, but by far, the trophy catch tournaments were the most fun.
The trophy catfish tournaments,
I'm not trying to like just single it out, but like just the people in general, it was just different. It's just more laid back, more good old boy,
well, we made
I loved it. It was so fun.
We made a lot of friends.
We did make a lot of friends.
We were first getting into, I'd been guiding already some, but, when you and I, got married, 15 years ago, however long it's been, that was one of the very first things that we did together.
Yeah.
Was
our first date, he took me night fishing on Cedar Creek. I'd never been night fishing at Cedar Creek. And we were fishing for hybrids, and we caught some bass too, but mostly hybrids, throwing little fishies up there in docks or whatever.
Yeah, on the spotlights.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. That was our first date. So fishing has always been a part of us.
Along those lines, not the dating line or all that, but along the lines, will the folks at Tawakoni that own docks, Well, everybody please put lights on their dock so we can have a dock fishery at night. There's like literally
Ours is lit up like a spaceship,
six
y'all.
docks on the entire lake that are lit up. I can tell you, Robert dock.
He's probably they're
Robert-
probably like, don't shout our names
I
out.
know,
We don't
right?
want people fishing our
Robert,
docks.
well, they don't know where their dock is.
Yeah,
our
you can look
dock,
people's names up. Shoot, you could try chat it. Where
our
does
dock.
Bob Smith live on Tawakoni? Oh, there's his address. Thanks, chat.
There's a couple.
Don't name drop.
There's a couple more people, but the point of this is that at Cedar Creek, if you like to night fish, and folks, we're talking about night fishing for hybrid stripers and white bass.
We're moving around,
throwing lures,
follow the train,
and it is so much fun.
Oh my God! So I want to go do it.
Well, let's go tonight.
We can't. Is it gonna rain?
No, there's no rain tonight. Let's go tonight.
I'm in.
Yeah. I know 6 docks on Tawakoni we can catch them on.
Oh, I thought you were talking about going to Cedar Creek.
No, that's an hour drive. Let's go to Tawakoni.
I don't know. It's not worth it to fish 6 docks. We can just fish our dock from the land. We'll catch them.
See how conversation. See, she went from like being so excited about going to an
I
hour
thought
away.
he was talking about
an
Cedar
hour
Creek.
away to Cedar Creek, but we can go to Tawakoni in our backyard and still catch
Just
probably
like
bigger
shopping.
fish.
You go shopping at all these stores, but sometimes it's fun to go to a new store.
This is true.
But anyway, that is so much fun. If you've never done that, you got to do it. It's a blast.
Let's talk about this. What advantages do you have fishing in the winter
I can
versus in the summer? What are some things that just come right on the top of your head?
Lake pressure. There's way less lake pressure.
Okay, that's true.
It's not as hot. The fishing's different. It's slower. The fish are slower. How you may fish for a fish is going to be so much different.
So you catch less fish in the winter?
Depends on what you're fishing for. If you're fishing for trophy catfish, probably so. Not if you're fishing for like channels or white bass, or it depends on the month too.
I mean, in general, I think the fish bite better in the winter than they do in the summer.
It depends.
I think that the fish are more prone to feed in the winter,
but they're so like lethargic.
Well, the metabolism slows down.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you think about it. You go out and you dead stick in 2 hours.
Sticking is so fun. We mentioned that on our last episode.
In 2 hours, you've got 50 fish.
Yeah.
And so I really think, maybe their metabolism slows down, but they feed heavy in the winter.
Gosh, yeah.
You're catching so many fish. It's
the white bass though. Come January, we're not going to even see a white bass hardly, right?
February. It'll be February. Yeah, it's and it all depends too on the situation with the lake.
Coals and all that.
If the lake fills up, which it has the last 5 or 6, 7 years, there goes your pillow. Probably better without it anyway.
No, it's not. It helps my back, y'all.
The lake fills up and that river flows in the winter or late, early spring, late winter, then it's c'est la vie. Those fish just get
up the creeks.
They get hard to catch.
And sometimes we go up there and chase them down. It just depends on what we got going on. One year we'll have like an amazing, trophy catfish season. The next year, it's like, where'd everybody go?
Well, and
people get
that's what's nice about being in the DFW area, having our business in the broader DFW area,
right?
Is that it seems like too in the winter, one lake will really catch fire and the bite will be incredible, but then maybe 2 other lakes aren't doing as well.
True.
And so what's great about what we do, we're not just married to Tawakoni, although our home base is here and we fish it a lot.
Yeah.
The fishing, we disperse and we move away from just Tawakoni. We fish Cooper, we fish Ray Hubbard.
Yeah. Fish Fork this year too.
We're going to fish Fork and we're going to go to Texoma this year and fish 2 weeks towards the end of January. We're going to fish 2 weeks in Texoma.
Yeah. So we'll be fishing Fork, Hubbard, Tawakoni, and Cooper this year.
And Texoma.
This winter in Texoma.
Yep.
Fork, Tawakoni, Cooper, Hubbard, Texoma. Yeah.
Yep. So, and that's exciting. We've already got several trips booked in Texoma. If you're interested in a Texoma trip, it'll be the last 2 weeks of January, first week of February. If you're interested in that trip, holler at us.
For a striper, right?
It'll be a striper trip. We'll be dead sticking. Cooper, we're going to be hybrid fishing Cooper. As well as Tawakoni. That's a really fun lake to fish. If you want to fish that, holler at us. Yeah. We did catch, we had a customer, TJ Jenkins, shout out to TJ. Oh, yeah. He hooked into a 14-pound hybrid on Cooper mid-January last year, and we smashed by 2 pounds the lake record. And then Johnny Northcutt, the exact same day, about 3 hours later, caught the lake record blue cat.
Mm-hmm.
So the hybrid and the blue cat were caught on the same day.
They're growing because, I mean, when we fished it a few years back, 7, 8 years back.
10 years back.
Yeah, maybe 10 years. Golly,
it just goes by so fast.
I know, but we were catching those. We caught a lot of 20s and 30s. Like that was the norm.
Yeah. With an occasional 40, but it was like really few and far between.
We've got some videos out there of those too.
And those are fun.
That was a long
those
time
are some
ago.
fun videos.
Yeah.
We had I'll never forget. We had a weekend. We did a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Stayed in a cabin over there.
I mean, we got into like the 3 to 5. This was before regulations on the blues. You could keep, 25 fish. It didn't matter what size they were. And that was back when we would keep a 5, 6, 7 pound fish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember this, but on the first 2 days, we had caught so many fish that we had nowhere to put fillets anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We were tired of cleaning fish, but we had one more day, and we invited T. West to come down over to Cooper. And he came in his black Chevy. I'll never forget. The reason I know it was a black Chevy is because we had decided, there was 3 of us, we had decided that if we got into him on day 3, which we thought we would, that he was going to take all the fish home.
From that day.
And, well, we caught 75 blue cats, all like 2 to 4 pounds, 5 pounds. And he didn't have a cooler. He had a little cooler.
It was freezing, y'all. It was cold.
It was cold, and there was nobody to clean them there at that point. They had shut. Something was going on for that particular day. We couldn't clean them, so we put all the catfish. I have a picture somewhere. We put all the catfish in his truck bed and tried to make them in this big pile.
Yeah.
And then we dumped all this ice on top of his catfish, and then he drove back to Lancaster, or Lancaster, depending on what you say. And then he cleaned them when he got back home. So I'll never forget that.
I know. That was such fun.
Those are some of the best times of my life. I wish that more people would try blue cat fishing, because I think if they tried it, they would love it.
I mean, I guess it doesn't frustrate me, but it's just how people are. But like, some people are bass fishermen, are crappie fishermen, and you got your cat fishermen. It's like, we fish for everything. But like, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that do, but it's just funny how you got this stigma of like, I don't fish for catfish, It's just like, why not? It pulls the same string, it's just as much fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're bigger. You catch more fish than 1 or 2 bass, I mean, I bass fish. I get it, but.
Well, if you like to bass fish and you like to catch fish, bass fishing, which flipping sticks, flipping bushes, flipping docks, come with us and let us take you on a Splat trip.
Oh my God, that's fun.
That's as much fun.
We got a video on that out there too.
You should be adding these videos and making a note.
I just don't think about it.
Splat fishing. Yeah. Have you ever done it? Have you ever heard of it? You know what it is?
So much fun. Oh my gosh. We did it with the guides.
I can't believe we did that.
And we all were like yelling and screaming and like, oh my God.
Yeah. So we did a Fox Sports TV show.
Yeah. It was Let's Fish.
Yeah. It was Fox Sports, Let's Fish, or whatever.
It was Let's Fish.
And we, so basically this is what happens. Sometime in late September, early October, all of your cormorant, your water turkeys, they migrate down from the north down south to all your North Texas lakes. And obviously their main forgery is shad. It's bait fish. They have the ability to swim under the water, catch them, especially when they're bunched up. And so in these flotillas, if you will, of cormorant, literally like
is that a word?
Flotilla? I think so. You might look it up.
That's Chad over there.
Do a little fact check.
Is flotilla a word? What does it mean?
I think flotilla. It's like a bunch of objects that float together.
Ask Siri. What is flotilla? Ask her.
Hey Siri, is the word flotilla a word? Yes, flotilla is a word. It's a term used to describe a group of boats or ships sailing together. The word is derived from Spanish diminutive flota, meaning
So that's
fleet.
why he knew the word, y'all. He's fluent in Spanish.
Actually, my Spanish didn't help on that, but flotilla. So the fact check actually checked out as a fact. So anyways, going back to the splat fishing.
The flotilla of fish.
If you like to chunk and wind, if you like to cast and stay real busy, we have a catfishing trip that may be right up your alley. It's good for about another 30 days. And that is going to be going up to these trees where the cormorant spend their evenings and their nights. And what do you think they do? If they spend all day floating around the lake eating shad, What do you think they do at
They
nighttime when they're in
sit.
these trees sitting there?
They sit in the trees and talk to each other and poop.
And they poop.
That's all they do.
And what do they poop out? Partially digested shad. And what do partially digested shad do for blue catfish under the trees?
Comes catfish.
They love them.
They do.
They think that
It's like, I wouldn't want to eat a catfish that's sitting there eating.
well, that's why
Bird poop.
God created a stomach lining.
Oh, yeah.
So all this stuff goes into the stomach lining of the fish.
Mm-hmm.
It never touches the meat.
All the flotilla of fish going down there.
All of it goes into the stomach lining, which doesn't have. I mean, thank God for my stomach lining. I'm just telling you right
I'm
now.
not gonna go there.
You know. So, but anyway, so as y'all can see the picture, so what we do, it's a lot of fun. Is we'll take like a chicken gizzard, a piece of chicken skin, and weightless, and we'll flip it or pitch it right up to the base of the tree. Well, what do you think the catfish thinks that is? Catfish thinks that a bird's up above and just plop down into the water. Boom. 5 or 6 of them suckers, and a lot of them are 3 to 15 pounds apiece. They're fighting for that bait because they're trying to fight each other. They're competing with each other to get to that plop. And of course, that plop's got a hook in it, which is my line, and then it's on. And I mean, it's very fast.
It's fun.
Action.
It
A
is
lot of fun.
so much fun. We do a lot of catch and release when we do that. We don't really.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, a lot of them are
personally-
bigger.
We
I mean, a
personally
lot
don't
of them
even
are
keep
5,
fish.
10, 15 pounds apiece.
Everybody always says the same thing. Man, I bet y'all eat fish all the time, and I'm like, no, we don't. No, we don't.
And here's what's funny: we don't keep any frozen fish other than tuna. And and when we do get fish hungry and we want to eat fish,
yeah,
we just go catch it.
Yep.
Enough for that
Usually
meal.
catfish, unless it's crappie.
Yep.
Sea time.
Which I still prefer catfish over crappie. I know there'll be a lot of controversy
Yeah,
on
like,
that. But
I prefer crappie over catfish.
you really do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't.
But next month I might prefer catfish over crappie. We'll see.
I just think the
I
flavor.
like it all.
There's more flavor in catfish than in crappie.
But y'all, he likes it. Go ahead, crappie. What?
Crappie is incredibly smooth. It
It's
just
very
kind of
smooth.
takes on whatever flavor you batter it with.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's just smooth.
But we only use cornmeal, salt, and pepper.
It's
So,
a very
cornmeal, salt, and pepper on
safe
catfish.
fish. Like
Cornmeal, salt, and pepper on.
cornmeal, salt, and pepper,
On
and a little
both.
bit of salt on the way out, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That
But he
was,
likes it blackened, and I want my stuff
Listen,
fried.
let my
No.
little Cajun
Oh,
accent
you ain't got
come
no
out.
he ain't got no Cajun accent. Y'all, well, y'all
Ooh-wee.
tear him up.
Let me tell you a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
That's
I'm
the only
gonna
thing he knows
get
to
me
say.
some blackened catfish now. Come on now. Ooh.
No, you're crazy. I do not like blackened. A lot of people do. I don't like it. Well, was it Mike Thompson?
Mike
made some
Thompson? Yeah.
I liked it once when he made it, and it was really good. I guess it's how he flavored it, but
So
I'm
he
just not a
flavored it with
fan.
Paul Perdone's blackened redfish magic.
I
He
know,
cooked
and you
it
make it the
on a
same
hot
way
skillet,
all the
and
time.
I have recreated that to the T. And everybody else that's eaten it says it tastes exactly the same. However, when my wife eats it now, for whatever reason, even though she liked it before, now she doesn't like it
I don't know.
anymore.
My taste changes.
Okay. Well, women have the right to change.
Yes, and I
And I'm sure if anybody's
prefer
listening-
crunchy, hot, steamy.
You like
yummy.
fried fish, and you like it crispy on the outside,
It's crispy,
nice,
salty,
soft on salty, and
yes.
yeah, it's boy. Are we making
I like
ourselves
it.
hungry for
I
some
know
fish?
you are.
I think we need to go out, hit them lights tonight on
Yeah, let's try
Tawakoni, and go get us some
striper.
fish.
I'm not a big fan of striper. Yellow bass. I might eat some yellow bass.
I am.
Though.
I love hybrid white bass and
Yeah,
striper.
everybody
I like it
does.
blackened.
Everybody likes it.
And you know what's
I'm
funny?
picky, y'all. I don't know. I'm
we
just
do a
picky.
lot of.
I'm
Let's talk
blessed
about
and
this.
thankful I got fish to eat, but I'm picky.
Not only is winter fishing good on Tawakoni, but winter fishing is freaking awesome at the coast.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, the redfish that we catch in the fall and early
Oh, that's
winter,
so much
the bull
fun.
redfish
I
out of
love
Port
bull
O'Connor
redfish.
are awesome.
But we eating them, the big bulls.
I'm not into that.
No.
Now, I've tried it.
Have you seen the meat that comes off a giant bull red? It's like a pancake.
Well, it's like a purple pancake.
It's just
It's
Ugh.
just in the meat
some
stringy.
people
But
like
here's the thing. Now you can fact check me if you want, but I want everybody listening
let's fact check it.
to pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say, because when I say it, I don't even like to believe it because I don't think it's possible, especially with the warm Gulf waters.
Right.
But check this out. A bull redfish, especially a mature bull redfish, let's call it a Average fish we catch down in Port O'Connor is 40, 41 inches. Okay, we catch some 36 and 37s, but most of them are 40, 41,
Yeah, they're
42
usually
inches.
better.
We catch them up to about 50, 51, or 52, which is a rare fish. But listen to this. Those fish are 20 to 30 years old.
Who wants to eat a 30-year-old chicken or a 30-year-old cow?
Or a 30-year-old fish.
Not me.
Yeah. So,
Ugh.
but
Isn't there a thing where people say they have worms? I hear that all the time.
Yeah, the black drum when they get older. But
let's ask Siri.
Okay, so
or chat or whoever. Do Siri so she'll talk. Are you?
Hey Siri, how old are bull redfish?
How come she's not talking?
I don't know. It says a bull redfish is at least 27 inches long. Redfish reach this length when they're about 4 years old.
4?
But what's this? Ooh. Hey Siri, how old do redfish get? Oh gosh, that's scary. A redfish can live up to 60 years.
Oh, so you just don't know the age. Well, I'm sure there's probably
I promise you, there's no hybrids or stripers or white bass living 60 years in Tawakoni. They live about 7. But the point is this fish, a redfish, can live up to 6 years. That's probably in colder water. But let's just say they live 30 years out of Port O'Connor. Well, let me tell you something. A 30-year-old fish is an old fish. And there's no telling what all it's absorbed in its system over those 30 to 40 years. My point is this, a redfish grows very big, it goes very old. So we don't eat those big redfish. And here's what's funny. We'll get some new people that come and fish with us. And we never tell them they can't keep them because legally they can tag one and get a bonus tag for a second. And every year we get new people that fish with us and they bring their tags and they're excited about keeping their redfish because really redfish, the smaller redfish.
I love
just the word redfish. It's served at Papados. It's served at all your mainstream, restaurants. So you would think if you're going red fishing, then hey, we want to keep some redfish because they're going to be good to eat. Well, we're not targeting those little redfish. We're targeting the big ones. So when they start coming in, all they see is a 30-pound hunk of
meat
filet mignon from Papados. But the truth of the matter is that it's not, and it's always an awkward conversation to have with customers when they're over there with their licking their chops on these giant redfish.
And then you clean 5 of them, because you got a group of people, and then you're like, here's your half a bag of fish.
Right, yeah, because they're almost all head and shoulders.
I mean, they're a little more than that.
But I typically they will ask me on the boat. Sometimes it happens even before the trip starts, and they'll ask me, so Michael, how do you like these cooked? What's your favorite way to cook them? What do you think about, da, 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 da. And just being honest, and I say, look, man, I don't eat the bulls. I don't eat these. They're pretty old, and I don't eat them. What do you mean you don't eat them? Oh my gosh, da, da, da. I said, I said, we've had customers in the past. They come the first year, and they're all excited. They take them home, and then they always say the same thing the next year. They say, hey, Mike, we're here to catch them. We want to pull the string, watch that drag rip out. But hey, we're good. We're gonna let these go this year. We're not too fond of them. So But what I wanted to say along the lines of winter fishing, the snapper fishing in the winter is the best. There is not a better time to catch a red snapper than in January, February, and early March. It is the best time.
We're not down there though, so.
Well, we actually are. We're actually down there this year. We're down there for 2 weeks in February.
I didn't know who's. February.
Yeah. Who's
going?
Jeremy will be down there state water fishing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, he'll be down there.
He's not in January though.
We've got.
That's what I just said. We're not in January.
Yeah, we're not in January. We're down there in February. And we'll have our state water boat down there. State water fishing allows you to go out 9 nautical miles away from the beach, which is great during the winter. These big giant salls, and these are not the small snapper like you may see on a party boat. These are like 15 to 18 pound fish. They pull the string, awesome. They're caught in shallow water, and a lot of times from where we're catching them, you can actually see in the distance. You can see the beach.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
So, I mean, the good thing about that is you're not going really far offshore, and the bad thing about it could be weather permitting.
Yeah. And that's the truth. Yeah, because that time of year, your weather windows or smaller. Speaking of weather windows.
So how do y'all do that if you have customers booked? Do y'all kind of communicate with them a couple weeks out or a week out and look at it? And
Well, yeah, we do, but we actually run these trips. And if you're listening to the podcast, welcome. It's the Guides Angle. This is Terry. I'm Michael. We're hanging out with you guys today, and we're talking about Port O'Connor. We're talking about Texas.
We're
and we're talking
about
about state water snapper fishing, which always excites me. I've been doing it for a long time. I love to do it. I've been doing it with my dad. We're actually running trips down there this year. And Terry was asking right now, how do the trips work? And if you do have bad weather, how does that work? Well, we book these trips based on two things. They're booked as a snapper trip, but they're also booked as a bay snapper trip, which is a sheep's head trip. So the reason we do this is we're down there for 12 to 15 days. And, as a business and as a guide service, we can't be down there for 8 days in a row.
Sure, yeah. Got to be able to work.
And not be able to work. So what we do is it's booked first as a state water snapper trip.
Yep.
You look like you're ready to move on.
No, it's just that he's a little long-winded.
Oh, well, this is my favorite part. This is the favorite part of the podcast right here.
Cool,
I could spend 20 minutes talking about this. And so what we do is we run it as a state water trip with a backup sheep's head trip in case we cannot get offshore. And the great thing is the sheep's head are fantastic eating. They pull really hard.
So your answer is if we don't get snapper, it's okay. We're going to stay in and catch some.
We're going to cross the bay. We're going to get to the jetties and we're going to catch sheep's head. And if you're really lucky, the weather's going to be really good
window.
You'll get to be able to go out, catch your snapper, and then still have enough time on the trip to stop in at the rocks and catch a bunch of sheep's head.
Oh, Lord.
So
the guys will do that?
Absolutely.
Wow. Man.
We're POC Offshore Adventures.
Smoke them.
We want to have an offshore adventure. that
or
sounds
a bay
to me
adventure.
like an adventure.
Or
a bay adventure.
Jetty adventure. A jetty adventure.
That's right.
Living the dream, baby.
All right. So what else we got?
We were going to talk about winter fishing on Tawakoni. We were going to fish that out. So we need to.
Well, what comes to mind? Well, we talked about splat fishing. We talked a little bit about dead sticking.
We talked about trophy fishing.
Gear wise, as far as winter fishing, I mean, really, most of the time we get one cold front typically in a 10-day period. Yeah. So that means you're going to have 2 days of north wind and you're going to have 6 or 7 days of south wind. Obviously, your south wind days are going to be your warmer days. Yeah. You'll have a couple days where it's cold. Winter gear out there, I like to dress. Just like you're going hunting. A lot of these guys have good hunting jackets. They got coveralls, things like that. It's best to just wear that. I like to wear waterproof boots. Nothing is, people always ask, how does water get in your boats? Typically not, but if water does get in the boats, a little bit of water, you don't want your feet getting wet.
Yeah.
So wear rubber boots with like insulated socks, or wear good waterproof style warmer boots, because it's gonna really help you in the long run.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I like to layer up, and you can always take clothes off. Can't add them, but you can take them off unless you have them extra, but
right.
I usually layer up bibs and depend on the temperature.
So one of my favorite stories about winter fishing was the time, and you kind of hit on it earlier, but I want to talk about it for a minute, because since we are a multi-species guide service, we had a 2-boat trip. It's been several winters ago, but Terry was the catfish boat and I was the hybrid striper white bass boat.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And Terry, it was back when we were anchor fishing quite a bit, and Terry had found a huge group of blues stacked up on a ledge, and she got her boat anchored, and this was the coolest thing. It was all catch and release on her boat, and she was on an unbelievable bite, and we were literally rotating people off my boat after we hybrid and striper fished, and then take them to your boat, drop them off, and then they would stay on your boat for a couple hours. This is an 8-hour trip.
Yeah.
Stay on your boat for a couple hours, catch 2 or 3 or 4 big giant catfish, and then I would come back around and drop a few more people off, and those guys would get on my boat.
So how does that work with the white bass and the hybrids?
Well, I think we did a lot of catch and release.
Oh,
I don't think we were limiting out. I think they were keeping some.
You would have.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think we did, because we never were over our limit. And matter of fact, looking back, I don't think that they
I
kept
don't think they kept
the
fish
hybrids.
because those guys all traveled in.
Yeah, I don't think they kept fish at all.
Yeah, I don't think
it
they
was
did.
all catch and release. They
Yeah.
may have kept a few, but I don't think
That
they
was
kept very many.
Mike, Mitch,
It was
Mitch's son,
Terry Leaper,
Terry. Yeah. That was
all
so
those
much
guys,
fun.
and it was so much fun.
We were catching like 60s and I don't think we caught a 70. They were like a lot of 60s, 40s, and 50s.
We've got
60s.
videos of that trip, and I think just to me though, it was the nostalgia of just you sitting there on one spot, and every time I drove up to drop off a group and do this, it was like, oh my gosh, has she ever stopped catching them? You just killed them that day.
I didn't. They did, but it was fun. Yeah, I know. One time we had one of the guys said, what was it? Oh, the line was out. We had a rod out, and the rod was actually not in the holder. It was sitting in the boat, and the rod went into the water. And like we caught so many fish that day that later on during the day, when they caught another fish and brought the fish in, it wrapped around the other line and brought the rod back in. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Those are the kind of days.
That's a day when the fishing is so, incredible.
I'm looking to see. So Jeremy Robinson, he's one of our guides. Old Jeremy, he's hanging out.
Old Jeremy,
today.
he's
Old
like
Jeremy.
35, y'all.
I don't think he's 35.
Really?
I don't. He might be.
He's about.
So Michael and Terry's a lot. So we asked some guys earlier, what would they like to see on the podcast? And Jeremy says,
episode.
We want to know Michael and Terry's beginning of life, right before they started guiding service, and the development up until now, and the future projects that they want to see happen. I think that's its own podcast.
It's the Jeremy pod. We need to have our guides on here.
I think that would be its own podcast. I can tell you this: it's very humble beginnings.
Oh my gosh, y'all have no idea.
And we've had a really neat journey. It's been a neat story. One of these days, we need to tell the full story.
Yeah.
About everything as far as how we got this thing off the ground and the excitement. I know this at the very end of the day, there's nothing more exciting than to be in this industry, be a fishing guide, have a lodge and stuff like that. But to be able to provide, I think the greatest part for me now, looking through all of it, is being able to have a business that provides a platform for these other guys like Jeremy and Chase and through the years, Mike Thompson, Ryan Glover, Daniel, all the guys that have worked for us through the years, Noel, and there's more, James, and who else is there, and Adam, and and Chet, and just to be able to provide a platform for these guys to be able to do something that they dream about doing.
Yeah, something that they love, and that they can support their families.
It's there's nothing greater than that, to have. It was one thing I thought for me to be able to do it and live my dream. But then for me to be able to look over at Chase and to see his smile coming in with all those fish and seeing his customers happy and hugging each other and high-fiving, there's no greater. Well, maybe there is, but there's not much greater than that for me seeing that, in my old age now.
Yeah, all your almost 50 years.
Well, I'm getting up there. I can guarantee you that. So
it's been a journey, because when you say humble beginnings, like we literally had very limited amounts of money when we started.
Well, just limited resources to get it off the ground.
And it was just like,
the old
how are we going to make it? How are we going to do this with one boat? And then, it wasn't even 8 months in till I got a boat, and then I was guiding. And I think that's when everything really took off.
I think it was a miracle when you look back at just that second boat, because, the Skeeter, we had a 2000 Skeeter.
I'll get a word in edgewise in a minute, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm getting ready to sneeze. Go ahead and talk.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Let's hear this loud sneeze. I'm going to have to edit out. Why can't you sneeze like that all the time?
I don't know. I didn't enjoy that. That one hurt because I had covered it.
Do your husbands do that? Gosh. He sneezes so loud that it startles me, and I know he's doing it.
I got another one coming.
Let it ride.
You know how the second one starts building?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it'll go away.
But we really did start, y'all, from humble, very, very humble beginnings. And it was Michael at first. I was scheduling for him. And then, we put everything we had into this business. And that first year was a major struggle. And then year 2, I started guiding. And having that double income just was incredible. It just really made a change. And then we're like, well, we got 2 boats, we got 2 guys. And then we added a third guy a third guide, which was Daniel. He was great. He was a hard worker. Anyway, but it's, it's taken us, we're 15 years in, and it is really was a struggle at first, but God, we've been so blessed, and we live such a crazy lifestyle, not lifestyle, but a crazy life, and we're always,
it's just, there's, it's one of those things. And I think any business owner,
sure,
it feels exactly like we do. Everybody thinks, oh, business ownership, that's the way to go. Well, if you can avoid it and still make a living that makes you happy, I would say go that route.
Yeah.
Because
when you own your own business, you work 7 days a week.
It's just, there's no, it always falls on you when something happens.
Yeah.
It's not, unless you've got, multi layers of leadership in your business, which, we don't, we're a small business, if things happen, if one of my guys gets to work and he gets in the boat and turns the key over and it doesn't crank, the battery's dead or something else, I mean, I've got to figure something out.
Yeah.
Maybe I was off that day and I was asleep and trying to sleep in, and I worked 10 days straight. Or how many times, something happens.
Boats break.
Stuff happens. Stuff happens. Things break.
Crazy stuff.
Hey, how many times in the winter during trophy catfishing when we would have 2 or 3 boats out and something failed in the scheduling, something happened, and we thought we had hybrid striper trips, but we found out that the next 2 days were trophy catfish trips. And literally at 10 o'clock at night, we had no bait.
Yeah.
And this was back before anybody had bait for sale, and you could just go to Walmart and buy bait or whatever. And literally at 10 o'clock, you would already be in bed, literally almost asleep.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would raise up straight out of bed and go, oh my God. What are we going to do for bait?
This didn't happen
I thought we had a hybrid trip, but it's a catfish trip. And then we would literally get up,
get dressed in the cold, freezing cold,
and drive somewhere, either to the lake or to a creek or to something,
wherever we could get,
and go throw cast nets and do everything and get home at 1 o'clock in the morning,
just to get up at 5:30
to get up to go do it. So this is kind of part of it, but
that didn't happen anymore though.
We've gotten better at managing things. We're not as scattered as we used to be.
When we were both guiding, and it was just us two guiding, and I was scheduling and guiding, it was really hard.
I'm really glad that that you are doing what you're doing now, with the lodge and everything. I mean, it was awesome having you on the water, and I know you still miss it, and I miss it some, but you do your best, I think, running the lodge, keeping the schedule dead on. You interact with every customer. So whether it's a Tawakoni Guide Service customer or a open water lodge customer, you've got your hands somewhere on them.
I'm so blessed, y'all. We have the best staff. Not only are our guides amazing, let's shout them out. So Noel Ibarra, he's been here for 10 years. Noel's been with us for 10 years. He is a captain. He got his captain's license with us. He's full-time guide, and he is phenomenal. Everybody loves him. He has such a fun personality. He is so great. He's been here for 10 years. We've got Jeremy, and you've got Chase.
Jeremy's been here for 2 now.
2 years. Chase is about a year in.
Yeah.
And they're both just, they're so good. They're great guides. They're just phenomenal. Jeremy's got his captain's license. I would imagine Chase will probably the next year or so get his.
I bet you Chase gets his captain's license, I think, about 4 to 5 years down the road. Yeah.
His kids are a little bigger.
He's got some youngins that still need to get a little older and all that stuff.
And then we got our staff over at Open Water Lodge. We have Dawn, we have Renee, we have Betty, and we have Amanda. And they've been with us for years. Dawn's been here for 5 years, going on 6. And Amanda, Betty, and Renee have been here for years. And we're so
they're doing great.
blessed. They really care about our guests, and they really make sure, and this is at Open Water Lodge, they really make sure that everything is perfect for you when you walk in that door. We want you to come in that door and you feel at home, and that's what the girls do. And they just make it so clean, and they just take it down to the bare, whatever, and when you come in, it's just like it's brand new again.
And one other person, if we're going to do some shouts, one other person I want to make sure, because he's been with us from the very beginning, as long as Don's been with us, maybe a little bit longer, and has done an amazing job for us, and that's Curtis.
Curtis
has been like family to us, and he's always, him and his staff, his group of guys have always, Roger and the whole group has always taken care
Yeah.
I don't know if
Of the
Curtis
property,
has. Yeah, he's always taking care of our property,
The landscape.
landscaping.
Yeah.
You know, keeping things the way they look nice. And I don't think Curtis has ever said no to anything. He is a
No,
yes
I
guy.
love him.
He doesn't know maybe exactly how he's going to do it, but if
Yeah.
you ask him to do it, he'll
He's a
kind of
yes
look and he'll
guy.
go, "Yeah, I'll figure it out."
Yeah, he's a yes guy. He's just helped us tremendously over the years. We've just been, I know it's kind of cliche, but like we are so blessed. Like everything that we do, I just feel like God has either had his hand on it or his hand's in it. You know
Or
what I
he's
mean?
told us no, and we've gone a different direction.
Yeah, we've been told no.
And but it's one of those things we always have been able to try to
Yeah.
to navigate those waters with him leading us. And there's no way that this industry is a tough industry. The
it's so
lodging and
competitive.
fishing industry is an up and down industry. We're in a downtime right now as far as just the industry in general. I know if you're in boat sales, if you're in RV sales, if you're in outdoor sales in general, the market's down about 25% in the industry. So, when that's down, but with our guide business, with the lodging, we do a lot of corporate stuff and things like that. It does help us a lot that, we've got industries, trade industries, the heating and, the heat and air industry, the plumbing industry,
Right.
Places like that, roofing industries. Shout out to Brandon Overby, and then
Oh yeah.
with his group at T-Rock, and then Wayne with his group at Charlie Allen. Those guys have done a lot of business with over the years, and it's nice to have
A lot of construction
a
companies.
lot of construction stuff.
A lot of construction.
A lot of construction.
I don't know if our names just wiggled in and just kind of infused in that whole industry over there, but I mean, we get a lot of business from guys
Yeah.
in the construction business. So, but yeah.
Well,
it's
we're coming up
crazy.
on the hour mark, just like we always do.
Yeah, time flies.
I'm telling you, can you
I
believe
don't know
that?
how we get along for an hour. And we get along pretty good though, considering like I don't know if you spend a lot of time with your wife or girls with your husbands or your spouse or your boyfriend or whatever girlfriend, but we spend most of our time together.
Yeah, we do. It's
We
great.
spend a lot of time together.
Matter of fact, there's only a few times a year that we're apart overnight, and one's coming up soon, and that's our tuna trip coming up. And so I'll spend a couple nights away from Terry there, and then maybe get an elk hunt in the fall. But other than that,
Well, no,
really,
you go back and you go snapper fishing.
I
with your
do with
dad.
my dad. One time
Yeah.
in February. I do.
February,
I'm
you
gone
do
for 2 or 3
that.
nights there. But other than that, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm pretty much home. I would say I'm gone 6 to 7 nights a year is
Mhm.
about where I'm gone.
Yeah.
And not, other than that, we're together.
We're about to build a house, so next year you probably won't be able to do much.
Yeah, next year's going to be a busy
We
year.
could be strapped.
So they say that some of the most difficult waters to navigate, marriage wise,
Marital waters.
to navigate are when you build a house together. But here's the deal: we've already built the
That
lodge,
is-
we built all the cabins, the hotel, the store, the docks,
Yeah.
and our marriage has survived that.
Survived it all, baby.
So I guess the house will be. Hopefully
we'll
that'll
make
just
it.
be some icing on the cake. So we'll see.
Yeah, I
But-
believe it. Well, you guys, if you're wanting to go fishing this winter, we got some openings. If you have questions about, the lake, Tawakoni, shoot us a text, 903-441-3937. Shoot us a text. You can message us on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. What else are we on? YouTube.
Yeah, and if you
So-
just need some tips and tricks for your home lake on winter
Yeah.
fishing, we're always available to try to answer
Yeah.
questions as
we may
best
not
we
be able
can.
to, be a phone call, but you could shoot us a text, or the best way really is to message us on Messenger. Really, you're on
Yeah,
Messenger, a lot.
or text you.
Never text me. Yeah.
Yep. So is
But,
the best way.
All right.
Well,
we said all right.
until next time, and we'll see you guys out hopefully on the water. If not, we'll see you here next time. Y'all
Yep.
take care.
Bye bye.